Kia ora te whare. Kei te tū I te tautoko I ngā mihi ko mihia ko rātou ko wehatu ki te pō. I maumahara au, I inanahi rei, te pāpara Hick Busby. Kei te mihi atu hoki kia Peter Praone. Ana e whakaro ana hoki kia Kingi Taurua. Kei te moho au, aha ko he tāne katoa, he tāne I wetahi wā, he tautoko I te kaupapa o tēnei rā. E maumahara hau hoki I tēnei wiki, I ngā wahine toa, pēra kia whina, pēra kia mira, pēra kia koe e te whaia I tū mai I mui a tātou. He hai pēnei ai, kei te pai kia whakamanahia, kia whakamaumahara I o rātou nei mahi, mā rātou hei pupuri te Māori o te tiriti o Waitangi. Nā rātou hoki I ako kia tātou me pēhea te huarahi tōtika hei pakanga ki te kāwanatanga mō rātou nei mahi whakaparahako kia tātou ngai te iwi Māori. He tino kaupapa tērā mō tātou katoa mai te timatanga o te hainatanga o te tiriti o Waitangi taino ki tēnei rā. He hai, aha ko te wairu o te tiriti he whakaro me noho orite te Māori me te Pākehā, ko te tino kaupapa o te Pākehā ke kai I te mana o te Māori. Koina te raru. Ana me pēhea te rongoa mo tērā te tino kaupapa tu āhuatanga e whai atu e tātou. Ko nā tāku nei mihi tuarua kia koutou Ngāti kawa Ngāti Rahiri I pupuri te Māori o tēnei whenua rangatira. Kei te moho inanahi rā, he tino wero koutou ki ngā mātou ngā wahine me pēhea te tikanga o te tū o te wahine I runga I te ātea. Aha ko he rereke wetahi o ngā whakaro, ko au tētahi e aki ki te ao, ko tai te wā mo te wahine ki te tū. He hai pēnei ai, he rereke tēnei ao huri ki te ao o mua. Ana mena kei te hia koutou ki te whakarongo I te reo Pākehā I runga I te marae, engari kāri te hia ki te reo o te wahine, he rereke tērā tuāhua kia hau ki te tikanga o tō tātou nei tūpuna. Kārea au I whakai hia me tautoko te reo o te Pākehā, te reo Pākehā, te reo ingarahi, hei whakahaere I ngā whakaro I runga I te ātea, engari ia tau ka haere mai au, kei te whakarongo au I ngā kāwanatanga, I ngā āpeha o te kāwanatanga e kōrero Pākehā ana. Engari, kāre koutou e whakaro ana me noho koe, e hara tērā te reo o te ātea, engari ko tētahi whakaro, me noho koe he wahine kāre pai kia whakarongo I te reo o te wahine, aha ko kei te haere te reo I roto I tō tātou nei reo rangatira. He pātai tāku kia tātou me pēhea tērā. Ana I nenarahi rā hoki e whakaro ana au, e whakarongo au I tērā o ngā āpea ānaru iti. Kei te tino mihi atu ki aia mo tana miharo ki te tū I te wākato e tū ana ka kōrero Māori ana. He hai pēnei ai, kei te aroha ia, kei te aro ia pea ki te wairua o te whakaro, mā mātou te mana whakahaere o tō tātou nei marae. Mā mātou hei whakahaere tā tātou nei kāwanatanga, koinei te hiahia. Ana kei te mihi atu au ki a koe I te āpiha o te kāwanatanga ānaru iti, ko tāna kaupapa hei whakatakato, he ua te kaupapa, me pēhea te tuki a te kāwanatanga kia koutou o ngā puhi, aha ko te ua kei reira tonu te reo Māori hei whai whakaro mana. Ana I runga I tau atu āhuatanga kei te mihi atu au ki aia. Ana ka mihi hoki I tēnei tau, he tino tau tēnei, e kia nei he 2020. Koi nei, e te tēmatanga ki au nei, mo te tino kaupapa, me pēhea te huarahi, hei tū tika tātou, I raro I te whakaro kotahi, me whai anō o te Mana Maori Motuhake, mo tēnei whenua rangatira o Aotearoa. E hara mā te kāwanatanga hei aki tērā. Mā nai tātou te iwi Māori, te kaha, te mana, te whakaro rangatira me tūtuki I aua moi o moia. He moi moia I noho ana kei raro I te maru o te tiriti me te whakaputanga. Kei raro hoki I ngā mana whakahaere o ia marae, o ia marae, o ia hapu, o ia hapu, o ia whānau. Kaua e ware ware tērā. Ana ka huri atau ki tērā o ngā reo, ka reo I te hiahia, engari kei te moho, wetahi kore mohio I tō tātou nei reo, engari I tai mai nei I runga I te whakaro rangatira, ko ro te wai tai ahau, koe nei taku whā te kaumātahi tau I tai mai a tinana ki te tautoko te rā o Waitangi. He ua te kaupapa, engari he ngāwari hoki ki te manaaki taku wairua. It's a really important decade this year. It's a decade of beginnings. It's 2020. It's 180 years since signing of the treaty. But I think more important for me, it's a decade when we can set the establishment of the basis from which we regain power to rule in this country. And it's not a big idea. It's an idea whose time has come. It's an idea that was embedded in he whakaputanga and te tiriti. It's an idea embedded in the stage 1 report of the paparahi o te rahi claims here from Ngāpuhi. It's a claim that was embedded in the Taranaki report well before the Northland report. Yet, it's something that still is denied traction by successive governments as we get diverted into the petty politics of day to day, while the fundamental issue that Indigenous peoples need to confront around the world is that the institutional racism of those things that they brought here do not want us to reclaim our rightful status as First Nation peoples who have the right and the power to make decisions for ourselves in this country. It's happening everywhere. And we always kind of come to it at the end of something terrible. The statistics on oranga tamariki has got us outraged. And those statistics should have us outraged. Why should we be allowing nearly 4,800 of our children to be in Crown custody while they are under 18 years of age? They have effectively been locked up in the jail of Pākehā Kāwanatanga politics around the care and protection of children. Quite often that then sends them on a pathway to jail. So that they don't just spend 18 years in jail, they can spend up to 30 or 41 years incarcerated, and we permit that to happen. So that is the enormity of the statistics that are finally being discussed, but they're not statistics that are new. When I first joined the protest movement, Te Kotahitanga o Wairiki, in the early 70s, 1970s, that was one of the big issues we were fighting then, was the early incarceration of our children and the making of them as wards of the state in places like Kohetere, in places like O Wairaka. Now that was happening 30 years ago, and nothing changed for our people 30 years ago, and I act for those in jail who were taken away as children as young as 2 and 4 and 5 from their parents and put into those places, who are now in jail and have been for nearly 40 years as a consequence of the abuse they suffered. So we should all be really clear that what is being highlighted in the Oranga Tamariki case isn't new. It's just been repackaged as something new. It's a systemic racist issue that means that there's this misbelief that others can take care of our whānau better than we can. It's based also on some false realities. Many of us are homeless because of deliberate strategies of the state. Many of us are without work because of deliberate strategies of the state. Many of us as women are caring for our children because our partners are either in jail, let's be really clear about it, or it is more affordable for us to do that because the way the benefit system is structured means that those of us that are in the bottom of the economic statistics are those that get less assistance to assist us in making fundamental changes in the institutional arrangements of our family. And I want to remind us, Article 2 didn't talk about just tino rangatiratanga of our whenua. It talks about te tino rangatiratanga o ngā kāinga. And that's what is a kāinga without family? And if family do not have the ability to make decisions for themselves, then we are really in a difficult position to reassert those matters that are so fundamental to ensuring our longevity, our reality in the next 2,000 years as people who are tangata whenua. So that's oranga tamariki. I want to move to another issue, is water. Now, I got really annoyed. I've spent a whole lot of time, everyone knows here, in Waitangi Tribunal cases since the Kaituna claim in 1984. That's how long I've been around. That was my first job. I was 18 years old. I was researching for my people of Ngāti Pikiao to stop the effluent discharge proposals from the Rotorua District Council, and we won. We said it was wrong to put paru into the water, and yes, we had tino rangatiratanga, and so we actually managed to get a $26 million project as an alternative to the effluent discharge straight into the Kaituna. But 40 years later, we're still arguing the fundamental question: who owns the water? We are the water. We don't just own it, it's ours. We don't become people unless we have access to water. And if you ask yourself, ko wai koe, why is why in the middle of that question? Because why, from a scientific perspective, you're 70% water. So when you say, ko Annette ho no Ngāti Pikiao, I'm Annette from Ngāti Pikiao, with 70% of me made up from the waterways that we protect in Ngāti Pikiao and have done for generations. So why is there this misbelief that we don't own water? And why do the district councils and the regional councils continually make allocation of water rights without providing allocation to our water rights for those of us to protect? And why does the Labour government permit this matter to be deferred while they enter into a program of legislative change around the Resource Management Act, which is all about looking after and caring for water, while we as Māori don't even have water rights? Now, I had a lovely day at Whina's unveiling of her statue, but I tell you, I was mortified. The people up there are trucking in water because they don't have the fundamental human right of water available to Pangaru. And where is the Far North District Council and the central government to alleviate that? And we all know who owns the water. It's Uncle Moka and Auntie Hine. We all know that. But they don't have the right to allocate how that water is being used. And in the meantime, it's been over-allocated for economic development while Māori people are going without. Well, Pākehā people are going without because it's not an issue that is actually easy for them to resolve, because it's about economic redistribution of wealth. And I can tell you, no one would have signed Te Tiriti if they contemplated a position where Māori would have nothing and everybody else would have everything. That is not what Te Tiriti is about. And we as a nation, a Māori nation, need to remind them that. And every year we come to Waitangi to remind them of that. And I know a lot of us go home to remind them of that. But too often we're little pockets. We're stuck in the iwi leaders paradigm of the iwi leaders will tell us what to do. Well, I'm sorry, mate. Look in the mirror. Look in the mirror. You're an iwi leader. Hello, I'm a leader. Look in the mirror. You look in the mirror. You are a leader. As Auntie Hina said, you're the minister of your own whānau. It's not iwi leaders that are going to lead us to the revolution. I'm sorry, mate. It's going to be ourselves that are going to lead the revolution. And that's because we are leaders. We are rangatira. We are the rangatira of our whānau, and we have to believe that. And we have to act like that. So my turn on the men. Men have beaten me up. They've smashed my teeth out in the name of love. That's not love. They have chosen to stand in places and call themselves iwi leaders when they've beaten me up. That's not leadership. That's abuse. And we as women will not tolerate that abuse. And men, you should not tolerate that from your brothers or your fathers or your uncles or your children. We have to join together to stop that abuse. But it is women that is feeling the brunt of that abuse. And we need to make sure we uplift the mana wahine that we all know exists, so they are rightfully respected. That's why oranga tamariki is so terrible. When they send in 14 armed policemen, they're not sending them into the Black Power leader. They're sending it into the Black Power leader's wife. They're attacking the woman. The Black Power leader's not even allowed in the room. They are sending 14 armed policemen to make an attack on the whare tangata. And we as Māori have to say that is unlawful. That is completely contrary to tikanga. And just because we have whānau members who sleep with gang members does not mean they have not the equal right to be respected for the dignity of women that they are and the birth givers they are for the next generation. And I want to remind you of that because everybody sees these pictures. Did you see many Māori men in that room? It was that woman that was there, that young girl surrounded by midwives. And it was armed policemen that were there to attack the dignity of her and her child. Now, where was that in the papers? It was all, we shouldn't be doing this about Māori, but I tell you, Pākehā women, why weren't you saying, why are the state violence of the government being inflicted on vulnerable Māori women in this way? If it was a Pākehā woman that had been faced with that on the TV, would we still be waiting for a resolution now? That's the way racism works. It socialises us to actually isolate women from the rights, the fundamental human rights they have. And that's something that we as the Māori world and the Pākehā world need to address. The other thing I want to talk about too this year is the decade. It's a political party year, and I've missed the Māori Party and the Mana movement. I found the Labour Māori MPs so complicit that they almost have been silenced by their majority. Now that's really sad, because I remember the days of Maturata in the Labour movement, and they couldn't silence him. It was through him and Pat Hohepa that we got the Waitangi Tribunal, after they listened to the strident calls of protesters like Ngā Tamatoa, like the Donna Awatere and Rebecca Evans and Hilda Halkyard that we heard about yesterday. But why do our politicians seem to be silenced by the veil of political bureaucracies governed by political parties, when they know they've been used to get those same parties into Parliament? So my challenge to those Māori MPs is, why are you silenced? Why aren't there targeted fundings for Māori? Why aren't there partnership arrangements where the Crown's not selecting the partners, but Māori are selecting our own individuals, being established as a matter of course? This is what happens in international arrangements. Why can't we do that here back home? Though Shane really pisses me off when he keeps making me sound that I'm just a puti-puti. I don't even think he's got rugby balls between his ears. But you know, I'm sick of it. I'm not a flower arrangement, people, nor is Pania Newton. She is one of the most brave and courageous women of this century. So if you're going to call us flower arrangements, you better be careful, because I might just call you a vine that's wrapping yourselves under a noose under the kawanatanga, and I hope those prickles are strangling your throat. You're a weed. Your men like that are a weed. if they don't respect the women for the intelligence, the forthrightness, the courage, their ability they have, then they should shut up and sit down. They don't represent us. And he's not the only one. The Labour Party gets off because they've got their leader, who's a strident young person. But where's the Māori women in that leadership? They need to be putting up Nanaia, and they need to be putting up some of those young Māori women that I know have more intellect than some of those guys on the front row. And that's not happening. And why do we allow it to happen? Because our people say, that's kawa. Only men can sit in the front row and talk. But as I said, why do we permit men who speak English to speak over Māori women who can speak Māori? Why? Because we don't love our language enough? Because that's what it's about for me. I haven't fought for Te Reo Māori. I was the lawyer in the Te Reo Māori claim for 50 years. For us to go to a paipai and permit Māori men to speak Pākehā, while Māori women who can speak Māori are in the second row. If you're going to speak Pākehā, get to the second row. Move out. And the last thing I think I need to say, this is a decade of change. We're going into places that our people have actually navigated. It's not happenstance. In the 1900s, there was a home rule movement led by fundamental people from up the north here. Mary Mangakahia had started it with her Māori women's suffragette movement, but there were a number of speakers in the 1900s, the 1910s, promoting home rule, promoting our own independence. And we did that. And then we saw the worst of it was challenged, of course, in 1916 with the attack on Maunga Pohatu and Ruakinana. Because remember, that's what he was advocating at the early part of the 19th century. Māori independence, Māori home rule under the safety of Maunga Pohatu for his community. He had his own religion, his own shops, he had his own parliament, Te Wharepi. He was really clear that alternative institutions were what was needed. He was really clear that we should shut down prisons. He was really clear we should not fight white men's wars. He was really clear that we needed to protect the poor, the dispossessed, the homeless. They were his priority. Women without partners, pauaru, and children without mothers and fathers. Where are those priorities in our own policy making now? I don't see them. What I saw in the paper yesterday was an iwi leader say, give up fighting on water and let's get $200 million in a whenua land money, and that will be the best way that we can look for the next 5 years to find an equivalence of rights with Pākehā. Well, as long as we accept that reductive thinking, we are giving up on the dreams of people like Ruakinana, like Te Puia. Those dreams have to find force in our lifetimes. I haven't fought as an activist for 40 years, not for me to give up now. I pay tribute to the kura that just stood, the kohanga reo and the kura movement that hasn't been loved and nurtured as it should have been for 40 years, that are struggling on the resources they have, that don't even have the classroom structures that other mainstream students have, that have to struggle all the time with the Ministry of Education to get access to funding as of right. But I pay tribute to them because they haven't given up, and they have created an army for the Tino Rangatiratanga movement and the generation of graduates from Kohanga, Kura Kaupapa and Whare Wānanga that are sitting amongst us. That's the pride I see of the last 40 years of our movement. The regeneration of that, the fact that we can look to a paipai and see 26-year-old men speak in te reo with honour and with knowledge about the intimacy of power relationships between Māori and the Crown, and not be frightened to confront how we shift that power. I also want to pay some real important honour to people like the Maori nurses, those that do the hard graft in the health system that are keeping us alive. Those that work for our own hauora places on salaries less than what the nurses get in the DHBs. It's not right that a nurse that works for hauora gets $25, but if she goes to work for the DHB, she gets $40 an hour. Why do Māori have to always be undercut for equal pay, for equal rights? And don't say it's not happening. It's happening right now at Ngāti Hine. And they are the only group that's made a change. They've said to the DHB, we're going to pay our nurses the same pay as what you're paying the nurses in Whangarei, because we love our nurses because they love us. But how many of us around the motu are saying that in the health system? No, we allow them to keep putting lots of money into building hospitals that none of us can get to because we live too far away from them. And they won't even give us any money. So we need to pay homage to those that are looking at independent health care, health provision models. And they aren't necessarily fresh iwi leaders either. They're people like Auntie Hine. They're people from the Women's Health League and the Women's Welfare League who are committed to healthy whānau because they love their mokopuna and they want us to live long lives. Another group I want to pay homage to is sporting heroes. I have to say, I'm a Dame Nolene fan, whānau, okay? She's changed the world image of Māori women just by us winning the World Cup. And she comes from this marae. And she's a woman that's not frightened to confront anything. Whoever thought that she'd put a gay men's team against the New Zealand team, first of all to put up the gay men's team, yeah, and then to promote Māori women. Who else would do that? Nolene as an individual and the whole of those sporting heroes are creating spaces in leadership contexts that are really important. And she's proudly a tino rangatiratanga advocate as her father was. And we need more Nolenes of the world infiltrating rugby. I was hoping they might appoint a Māori rugby coach, but that's still a far away. Or in the rugby league world. But we need to be looking for those leadership models. Because who's actually got the magic? A lot of the tangata whenua bring the magic to that. And that magic needs to be captured in the imaginations of this country. Now, my last kōrero is we shouldn't just come to Waitangi, I think, to listen to us speak. We have to come here to strategize. I love the flag here. If I ask, what do I want by 2040? I've always said, I want my country back. I want it to be governed under an arrangement that respects Te Tiriti o Waitangi as the constitutional foundation stone of us moving together. I want a country without jails. I'm really clear on this. We need to be working strategies to close down the jails by 2040. I want a country where our children are not in SIF's care. I don't want to fix up oranga tamariki. I want to shut the bloody thing down. And I want our kids out of those confines of imprisonment or incarceration and put into healthy contexts with whānau and extended whānau so that we create a generation of well-being. I want us to be really clear too for Māori women that in 2040 we will be equal decision makers in our whānau, in our hapu, and in our national institution arrangements. And men, that means you have to give up power. You have to get off those seats. You have to stop playing with your cell phones and actually start listening to the whai kōrero on the paipai. Because it's the women that are prompting a lot of the kōrero. And you need to give that up with humility. You need to say, ai, kei te pai. Let's have equal decision making so that we can hear many voices from both sides of the feminine and masculine divine to ensure that we can hear the mountains talk, as Uncle just heard. Kei hea ngā kōrero o ngā maunga. So you need to hear the mountains talk. They're not just male mountains. Whoever told you that's a lot of crap? There's a feminine part of the mountains. We need to hear that feminine divine.
We need to listen to the waters speak to us. There's hine moana and hine wainui in those waters. And we need to make that commitment as the Māori nation, and we need to educate non-Māori to that position. And it's really important because the patriarchal systems that have been incorporated here since the Victorian times were brought to us, enforced on us by statute, and we need to get rid of that legislation. So I said I was going to talk 5 minutes and I raved on, but hang on. My last, I've just been reminded, Moana Jackson's not here with us, and he's normally our kind of mentor here today. So I want us to give a bit of a shout out to a brother Mo who can't be here. He's had a really struggle in the last 12 months with getting a report out that attacks the criminal justice system. And I know that there are speakers today that are following us that are going to talk about how rotten to the core that system is. But Moana's suffering a little bit from ill health, so I want us all to have a spare kariki or some thought for him today. But he inspired me on the treaty analysis, and he inspires me on the constitutional debate. He says we must always ask for the power to define our reality. We must not ask them to give our power back, but we must take the power back so that we can shape the institutions that we want. They don't give it back to us, it's ours to take back. We must use the power of imagination to dream the dreams, but not just leave it in the dream world, to make it happen in our realities. And that power of making it happen requires the power to unite for justice. Not the justice that the Pākehā permit, but the justice that the treaty promised. So on those notes, which I quartered off from my mate, I wish us all well. I don't know if we're going to be here tomorrow. We'll be here, I think, in the morning. But we've got kapahaka for Mātātua Regionals, and we're supporting Opotiki Mai Tawhiti tomorrow. So we're going home to make sure that they take it out. But I do want to say to the people of Te Tai Tokoro and the people of Ngāti Kawa, Ngāti Rahiri, Ngāti Manu, Ngāti Patukeha, koutou mā o tēnei whenua rangatira, ngā mihi ki a koutou, ngā mihi ki tō tātou nei treaty, ngā mihi ki te wairua pūmau, e moeana i te treaty kei te oho, i tēnei tau mō tātou katoa. Kia ora.